Hey yogis, I'm Nicole. Thanks for joining me today. Welcome back to my yoga time. So today's yoga snack is especially therapeutic for the end of the day to relieve tension in the lower body, so low back, hips, hamstrings. I do have 2 yoga blocks for this class. If you've only got 1 block, just get yourself either a rolled up towel and a pillow as well as your 1 block. If you don't have any blocks, then get yourself pillow, rolled up towel, and or maybe a thick book, whichever will be more comfortable for you. And also a yoga strap. So if you don't have a yoga strap, you can use anything that you can loop around the foot. So it could be a belt, a scarf, anything like that will do the trick. When you're ready, we're going to begin on our back. So come on down. And taking a hold of your yoga block straight away, or your thick book, or your towel or your pillow, and lifting up those hips, placing the prop underneath the bottom. So we're going to spend a few minutes here on the prop. Make sure it's comfortable. If you're using the block and it feels too hard, you could always lay your towel over the top as well. And then using either your strap or your belt or your scarf, we're going to loop that around the ball of the left foot and reach that foot up towards the ceiling. Let's take a few breaths here. So you can take this time to gently place the tip of your tongue where the teeth meet the roof of the mouth. Feeling that gentle constriction in the back of your throat for Ujjayi breath. Deepening the inhalation. And then hold the breath. Pause for a moment or two before exhaling slowly. Begin to breathe into the left leg. Remember, the way that we feel is always reflected in the way that we breathe. So by slowing the breath down, we're soothing the nervous system. But it's also a fantastic tool for meditation. First step to meditation is choosing something to concentrate on. So let that be the breath for this practice. So don't be disappointed if the mind wanders. Just guiding it back to the breath, moving the body. From here, let's release the strap, bend the left knee, take a hold of that leg. 2 choices with your right leg. You can either straighten and relax the leg, or for more of a hip opener, this right leg's going to come into a butterfly variation. So just wiggle that right foot further to the left and then let the knee fall out to the side. If that doesn't feel good on your hips or your back, then just straighten that leg instead. So breathing into any tension that you're feeling in the body. As we inhale, we feel the body expand from the inside out. And let's release, change sides. Taking your strap or your scarf now around the ball of the right foot. So taking a nice deep inhalation. And then find that lingering moment of stillness before you exhale slowly. Breathing away any tension in those hamstrings. Well done, yogis. Let's bend the knee, release the strap now. And either straighten and relax the left leg or take that butterfly variation. And let's release. Lifting both feet up now towards the ceiling. You can allow the feet to fall a little closer to the head if you like. Take a hold of the legs if that's comfortable to do so. So there's no force here, there's no push or pull, just be. Notice where the breath meets the tension. And as you start to breathe into any tension, you should feel that spacious inhalation start to press upon those lines. Well done, yogis. Let's bend the knees, feet to the floor. We'll take an active bridge pose before we release. You can turn the palms up, press into the feet, tuck the tailbone under and lift the hips up. Taking a spacious breath into the front side of the body. Gently pressing down through the feet, the head, the shoulders. Let's lift up hips and heels, remove the block from underneath you and lower down slowly. Taking a hold of the knees when you arrive, you can exhale and bend the elbows, inhale and straighten the arms. Coming up to seated, you can either roll to your side and push yourself up, otherwise we'll take a little rock and roll to bring yourself up. Well done, we'll come straight over onto all fours. And then raising the right leg, take it over to the left, toes are tucking under, look over your shoulder. Press into the palms, the hip and the heel. And coming back to center. Let's inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, hips up and back, downward facing dog. We're moving straight into pigeon pose. So right leg will lift and then look forward and place the right knee behind the right wrist. Lengthen your left leg behind you as you lower the hips down. So a few choices here. If you're tight through the hips, you can always sit up on your block or your pillow and prop up the hips. If there's any niggling in your knee in this position, I want you to bend the back leg as well. And then move that right foot further away so that you've created a right angle through the backs of both legs, and then you'll fold over that right knee. Otherwise, for your standard pigeon pose, your left leg is straight and we're folding down here. You can come down to your blocks, your pillow, or your palms. And begin to breathe into the outer hip, the back. Can you feel the back subtly rise and fall with the breath? Keeping the jaw relaxed. In your next inhalation, you can start to lift up out of the pose. Lean off over to the right as you swing your left leg around. So moving into head to knee pose, Janu Shashasana. Right knee will stay bent. You can always prop up that leg with your block if the hip or knee needs support. If you're tight through the hamstrings in the back, you can always bend that left leg as well. Let's just have a little bit of pressure, foot pressing into the thigh, thigh pressing into the foot. Inhaling, arms up. And exhale to fold forward. So if you can't reach the foot, you can just rest the hands anywhere on the leg. You can use the strap if you prefer, but I really want this to just be passive. I don't want you to force or to push yourself or pull yourself down any further than where you are now. To deepen the pose, I want you to deepen the breath in the back side of the body. So breathing into the back. And if you feel as though you can't puff out your back with your breath, then you might be pushing or stretching too far. Your breath is your barometer, always. Observing the body move with the pulse of the breath. Let's slowly roll up on your next inhalation. We'll take a seated twist, lifting up the right knee and crossing that foot over. We're going to twist over to the right. You can always sit up on the block if you find that you're rounding a bit through the low back. Let's create a little bit of resistance between the ankle and the outer left knee, either holding on to the right knee or hooking your arm around. Right palm behind you is pressing down and trying to slide away. And let's return to the front and then over to the left. We're going to take an open twist now. So I'm sitting only on my left leg, lifting right buttock off the mat, pressing right arm into the leg. You should feel a nice opening here in the psoas muscle and even the left side waist. And let's release, coming back to center. Swing those legs around, return to your tabletop. And when you're ready, raise the left leg, take it over to the right, toes are tucking under, looking over your shoulder. And then coming back to center, let's prepare for that last downward facing dog. Inhale, little back bend. Exhale to round, take the hips up and back. Left leg up. Pigeon pose, look forward, place the knee behind the wrist, lengthen right leg behind you, prop the hips if you need to, or again, bend both legs, lean off over to the left a little bit more. So we never want to push through any niggling in the knee. If your hips aren't being supported or they're not supple enough to go where you're trying to go, your knee is the next vulnerable joint that is going to give way. So be very mindful of knees and hips in this pose. Choose the variation that your body says yes to, not where your head thinks that you should be. And let's inhale to lift up, leaning over to the left as you swing the right leg around, straightening that right leg out in front. Again, propping the body, either legs or hips with the block if you need to. A little bit of pressure there between foot and thigh, inhaling and exhaling. Once again, breathing into the back. Finding a lingering pause before you exhale slowly. And you might even like to ha out the breath as you breathe away the tension on the back side of the body. Slowly rolling up when you're ready. Lifting up that left knee, crossing it over. Let's take our closed twist to begin with. So either holding the knee or hooking the arm around the thigh. Let's take that open twist now, sitting only on your right leg, lifting up the left buttock, pressing left arm into the inner knee, and then deepening the breath. And let's return to center. Well done, yogis. So although the emphasis on the class was lower body, we are going to move into one last pose before Shavasana, which will release any tension in the upper body. So coming into our supported fish pose, I'm using the two blocks. There's a little space in between them. This bottom one's going to be in line with my shoulder blades, top one for the head. If you've only got the one block, you can either place that block under your shoulders and maybe a pillow under your head. If you don't have any blocks, this is where you place your rolled up towel underneath your shoulders and maybe a pillow underneath the head. So it's a lovely pose to undo that bad posture if we've been like this or like this all day. And it's also really good for our respiratory function too. When you're ready, bring yourself down. And if you find that your back is a little bit niggly, just keep those knees bent. Otherwise, you can straighten and relax the legs. Arms out to the side and palms to face the ceiling. Option to take Chin Mudra and connect index finger and thumbs. And just observing the breath in the heart center. You might like to take the next few breaths here to think of something that made your heart smile today. Something you're grateful for. And let's prepare to release the pose now. You can bend those knees, either coming halfway up to seated or just rolling off to one side. We just need to remove those props. Coming down onto your back. I'm going to place one block under each thigh. You could use your pillow behind the knees if you prefer. Or of course you can just lay flat. So tucking those shoulders under. Allowing the body to give in to gravity. To help facilitate that, let's take a deep breath and pause. And as you exhale, give in to gravity. Softening into the mat beneath you. The space around you. And the newfound space within you. Inhaling a little deeper now. Feel free to wiggle toes and fingers. Feel free to move or stretch if the urge arises. When you're ready, you can roll to your preferred side, or you can press yourself straight up to seated if you're ready to continue with your day. Thanks, yogis, for practicing with me. I hope that you enjoyed that class. If you have any class requests, feel free to make them in the comments below. The intention of this channel is to help cultivate your home practice. If you haven't done so already, please do subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to support free yoga on YouTube. Have a lovely day.